Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Amitha. Join me weekly as I talk to guests who will inspire us with their success stories and transformational events. Our guest today is an internationally celebrated, multiple award-winning media personality. In 2014, he was the finalist for the Top 25 Canadian Immigrant Award. He is the CEO and creative director of MUKTA Advertising and the founder and executive director of Nouveau Idea. He's also the producer and director of the Taste of India Food Festival. It's my pleasure to welcome to our show Mr. Tushar Unadkat. Tushar, welcome.
Thank you, Amitha, for the nice introduction.
So excited to find out about the multiple hats you wear for the community and taking us to better heights. But first of all, wow, you have degrees in art, photography, design, business, and that too from institutions around the globe, including being the valedictorian from the Rotman School of Management in Toronto. Wow.
Thank you.
What inspires you to, have this learning process and just, explore everything?
That's a very good question. I come from a business class of family, so business runs in the veins. I've always wanted to do art and design in a different level. So besides just practicing art, like a lot of artists do, I always had the acumen to develop it into a business. That's when I went to the Rotman School of Management to kind of hone my business skills as an artist, as a designer. Having said that, growing up in Gujarat, Baroda, there were not many options for design institutes. I wanted to kind of practice, but they would be in Bombay or Delhi or the big cities. So the best, closest option I had was doing the applied art, which is the advertising. And I started from there. Then I was acknowledged for my commercial photography by National Institute of Design. And that kind of inspired me to pursue further education in England. I did my honors in photography. When I started my research while doing my honors in photography, again, it got a lot of recognition. That's when I was nominated for the BBC Asia Award. And that further inspired me to continue my research and develop into a master's thesis. And that's when I won the scholarship to study in Germany and extend my research in Germany. So one thing led to the other, and here I am.
Awesome. So there was passion that was fueled by recognition because you were doing so many good things. Awesome. And we are so grateful that you are here.
Thank you.
Tell us about your major, project, if you want to call it that way, Nouveau Idea.
Correct. So I lived in New York for 5 years, working with an advertising agency in Manhattan. I used to come across a lot of opportunities for creative professionals. I had a lot of friends who didn't have access to these opportunities, and they would call me saying, hey, is there a modeling opportunity, or I'm a cameraman, or either cast or crew, or the makeup artist, or whatever. It would be very difficult to outreach each one of them individually and say, hey, here's a commercial opportunity, or here's a film production going on, or here's an event opportunity. That is when I started a Yahoo group. That's how I first started, to disseminate information in one go to all the creative professionals who are interested and could grab the opportunity. So starting it in 2002 as a New Year resolution, 15 years later, we have 85,000 readership. It's a Canadian non-for-profit. We have board of directors. We do events under that umbrella. And our focus is to encourage independent artists who may not have necessary access to funds for marketing or the ability to get the word across.
Amazing. And, there's hype about it in the community. And, I have come across artists who have been helped by you. So thanks to you, we all get a platform too as well.
It's a pleasure.
Amazing. And then coming to MUKTA Advertising, and which we'll talk about, it's also connected to the Taste of India Food Festival. But first, tell us about it.
Correct. So my first degree, as I mentioned earlier, is in advertising, and I've done my master's in design. While working with the multicultural advertising agency in New York, I had already applied for my Canadian immigration. And at that time, I registered my own company because that was my vision, that I would start my own business and I would work under my own umbrella. And so when I moved here, I started practicing, and it was actually a catch-22 because when you come to Canada, I thought, oh, I've studied in Europe, I've got all these recognition, I worked in New York. It should be a cakewalk to get a job opportunity. Good thing that I had started my own company is because you would know that every company would ask for Canadian work experience, which is a very valid point. Now when I look back on hindsight, it makes complete sense. But as an immigrant, it would kind of leave me restless that what is Canadian experience, right? That I have all this international experience. Wouldn't that apply to my work in Canada? Nevertheless, it helped me that when I started my own company, I was able to take on projects. And slowly and steadily, it is a known brand now that in the community I'm recognized and I get my gigs from time to time.
Awesome. And one of them, not necessarily a gig, but something now you have founded, is the Taste of India Food Festival. So we want to get into that because it was a huge success this year. So we want to find out more about this exciting festival. Yeah. But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to the 2012 recipient of the Trailblazer Award and the 2016 recipient of the House of Commons Citation for Creative Direction, Mr. Tushar Unadkat. So Tushar, so happy again that you're here today and heard about all the amazing feats that you have achieved so far. But now let's focus on the success that just happened, the Taste of India Food Festival. So how did that come into being?
School of Flavors and Young Canadian Alliance are two organizations that collaborated early in the year with the idea of producing Taste of India Food Festival. I have been known in the community for producing events and festivals, so they approached me to execute the event. So it is actually the brainchild of those two organizations. I was the creative director in terms of the logistics and planning and execution because the organizers of School of Flavors and Young Canadian Alliance did not had much experience when it comes to an event of this scale. And they said we would rather have a professional expertise than to kind of dabble into and challenge. So it came out to me just about 6 weeks ago, and I came on board, and it was fantastic working on the team and the project because when you talk about our community South Asians, I hear that just within Ontario, there are about 1,600 South Asian restaurants, takeaway food shops.
Yeah, good.
So having so many outlets, we needed a platform like Taste of India Food Festival. Taste of India Food Festival exists in US and in different cities, but not in Canada. So this was the first time, but it was a super success because through the day, we had a turnaround of 35,000 people.
Wow, amazing.
Not only that, majority of our vendors ran out of food halfway through the festival. They were sold out.
Demand.
And they had to put signs saying, we're coming back in the evening. So they went back to the restaurant, prepared more food, brought it back to the festival. So that is the kind of yardstick of success. When the vendors are happy, when the food is all gone, there was a huge lineup, like, longer than what you would see in an immigration office. We used to laugh, that people are lining up at every vendor, every booth, for the Indian food. So we had such joy of bridging Indian food to the mainstream audience because it was in the heart of Toronto downtown at Nathan Phillips Square.
Wow, prime location.
Yes, yeah, and no event is complete if you don't add the fun of Bollywood. So we had all the dancing, singing, loads of competitions, giveaways, and we also fused with a band, a jazz band, which is Canadian. So it was more multicultural. We didn't want it to just make it an ethnic event because that is not what Toronto. Toronto is so multicultural. We had food vendors who were non-South Asians, and they made the effort to make fusion food. So that was also very creative and interesting.
So that's unique for this festival.
Absolutely,
yeah. Amazing. So it was in a prime location, and I understand like people came out there, like you said, not just for the food, for the celebrations that were happening as well.
Correct.
In terms of support, so I understand this was a free event, is that correct?
It is.
In terms of support from the community, how was it, like putting the festival together?
Yes, I've done many festivals. I was a producer director for the Festival of South Asia last year, which is a BIA, so they have the government support, etc. Unlike that, this festival being in the first year, initially it was a little uncertain which direction it could go because it's a large project. It needs a lot of seed money. It needs marketing. And having said all that, our community was tremendous. They all came forward, giving whatever share of support that they could, including the volunteer time. You know, no event of this scale is possible without the participation of volunteers. And we had a great team of volunteers, all the coordinators who just stepped forward, saying, because they were excited, they believed in the vision, they were passionate, and whether it was financially, physically, monetarily, or mentally, they were all there. Even the media, including Spotlight, that you give this platform to outreach our community and audiences. So we are very grateful that without that, there is no success, right?
Very well said. Well, I must say, School of Favors and Young Canadian Alliance had their project in their mind, and they brought it to the right person to put it together and execute it properly. And it sounds like you have done good research too. Like, I didn't know there was a Taste of India Food Festival in USA. Sure. So you've done your research well, you knew how to market it and
Correct.
Put it all together. So hats off to you and the whole team as well.
Of course.
And it was the first year, but guess what? It's coming back next year.
Absolutely. Bigger and better.
Bigger and better. So where can we find more information for those of us who missed it this year?
Of course.
Where can we find more information?
Information related to Taste of India, the best place to go is schoolofflavors.ca. And flavors is pronounced in English way, F-L-A-V-O-U-R-S.
Amazing. And can people get involved then?
Absolutely. So if we also have social media. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Go like the page, throw your questions, suggestions, or if you want to participate, simply send us a personal message and someone will get back to you shortly.
Awesome. So Tushar, there's more to learn about you beyond the festival. But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to the only non-resident Indian to pledge for the 2017 Torch of Seva Vadodara International Marathon, Mr. Tushar Unadkat. Tushar, wow. Tell us a bit more about this.
That is the most humbling experience I had early this year when I grew up in Baroda. So it's a city which I feel very passionate and close to. And I got this phone call saying that we want to invite you as the Canadian ambassador to pledge for the Torch of Seva.
Wow.
What Torch of Seva is, they had invited selected 25 participants who are the movers and shakers of the city to pledge to raise 5 lakh rupees in a year per person, which is 1.25 crore rupees for the local charities. And I said, what better reason to go back to your own town where you grew up than pledging for a humble cause, for a noble cause. So Baroda International Marathon has been practicing a lot of charitable causes, including fitness, because obviously marathon is all about physical fitness. And as they say, healthy mind lives in a healthy body. So it is important to encourage our local communities to remain fit, participate in such activities. I went back and we had tremendous response from the participants. We had 50,000 athletes who participated in the marathon, which is a great. The Chief Minister of Gujarat flagged off the event. And there was a huge response by the media all over.
Nice. Awesome. Wow, all the projects that you take on or create have a component of overall wellness, mind, body, soul wellness. So what other projects can we look forward to under your initiative?
So a couple of projects that you will hear towards this year. One is we are planning a kite festival, because you keep hearing about the Festival of Color, which has become so popular in mainstream these days, which is holy for India, right? But nowadays you see in many cities in Europe, they throw beach parties and they throw a Festival of Colors. But we wanted to do a festival for kites. Well, it has been tried a couple of times in the past, but this year we want to do it bigger and better. So that is one in the pipeline. Within the next 2 months, you'll start hearing the buzz about it. And I'm also participating in the Oakville Hospital fundraising Diwali Gala. So you will hear about that as well. And besides that, in November, end of November, early December, I wouldn't spill exact beans, but we are bringing one of the top-notch singers from Bollywood to perform here for the holiday season.
Nice. So lots of exciting projects. Well, there are many in the works and many that have happened. And as long as you follow Tushar, you get to be part of all these projects. So where can we follow you? TusharUnadkat.com. I'm on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course. So please follow and you'll keep updates about the events that I bring to you. So yes, we will be following. And then coming back to this amazing festival that just happened, Taste of India Food Festival. Again, for those of us who missed it this year, it's happening once again next year. So once again, where can we find more information about that? That would be schoolofflavors.ca. And next year, we're planning to do it over the weekend. That means not just one day, but 2 days, because of the tremendous response. People were calling us saying, what time do we come tomorrow? Wow, so we said, this year it's only 1 day, but perhaps next year we'll make it a weekend long, because people didn't have enough of it, right? They wanted more. They wanted more, and that's why you're coming back next year. So next year, we are all going to be there. Thank you, Tushar, today for inspiring us so much with everything that you do. I wanted to request you, for the viewers who are watching us today, they're looking at you, they're in awe with everything that you do. Do you have any words of advice for them from all the experiences in your life? Well, my mom gave me the wings and she said, follow your heart, rest will fall in place. So, growing up in India, I'm talking about 25 years back, working in a creative industry was not as prominent as it is now. It was seen as a very niche, and for many it was seen as a taboo as well, that what will you do, become an artist, right? True. I combated all that. But fortunately now in the current age, with the whole boom of television industry, it is no longer the same. Now it is a professional era where all parents are looking at it very positively. So you have a better platform. Anybody who wishes to pursue a creative career, just jump into it, follow your heart, and there is a brilliant light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much, Tushar. We need more of you, more of creative people like you, more of positive people like you, and the world will be a better place. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So that was Mr. Tushar Unadkat, who has inspired us today to look within and find that spark that will bring about the change in the world. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to be creative and make a change in your community.